What's going on, everybody? I hope you had a fantastic weekend overall. You're enjoying your Monday morning so far, and I hope you guys had a great overall weekend. This is MYG Jeffy 85 here, and I'm bringing you the BKN Game Recap for the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics last night at Barclays Center as the Nets look to try to win the 5 games in a row against the top-ranked team in the Eastern Conference, the Boston Celtics. And for the most part, it was actually a very close game. Both teams had a couple of runs back and forth. The Nets actually got off to a pretty early lead in this game at the beginning, but it was just ended up being too much for the Nets to handle in the end. And the Boston Celtics ended up snapping the Nets' 4-game winning streak at home as the Celtics win this game 103-92. And the Nets have now lost their first game in their last 5. And the Nets are now 13-12 on the season, while Boston raises their record to a very impressive 19-5 on the season. Overall, the Nets, the rebounding actually wasn't that big of a disparity at all. The Nets actually only got out-rebounded by 3 in this game. So it's not like the Nets got absolutely blitzed when it came to being on the boards. It's not like the Nets got completely outplayed in this game. I mean, they only did lose by 11 points, so it could have been a whole lot worse. I mean, the Celtics' big players, they just stepped up when it mattered in the end. That's the biggest thing. And the Celtics, they didn't shoot the lights out either. I mean, they only shot 43% from the field. The Nets shot 41% from the field. Celtics shot 40% from the three-point line. The Nets shot 35%. The Celtics went to the line 20 times. The Nets went to the line 22. So the numbers are really not that big and disparaging in terms of, the overall play. It's just the Celtics, when they needed to, they went out there and made the plays out on the court when they needed to. And the Nets, they just couldn't convert some of those shots that were needed. They couldn't be able to make enough shots in the middle. And Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum just continue to be 2 of the best players in the NBA. I mean, Jaylen Brown, he had 34 points in the game, 10 of 20 from the field, 10 rebounds, and Jayson Tatum also had a double-double. Both Tatum and Brown had over 25 points in this game. Each of them had a double-double. Tatum went 29 and 11. Brown went 34 and 10. Those 2 guys, just one of the best dynamic duos in the NBA. Can't deny, I mean, the 2 of them are going to get theirs. The rest of the team didn't really do much. That's the thing. I mean, Marcus Smart didn't play in this game, but for the most part, only 2 other players on their team scored in double figures. Malcolm Brogdon had 13 off the bench, and Grant Williams scored 10. But otherwise the Celtics really were just a 2-man group. The Nets, they were really just a 2-man group though too. I mean, Kevin Durant, he went 13 of 24 from the field. He had 31 points in this game. 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He did, though. The one thing that hurt the Nets, Kevin Durant turned the ball over 8 times. You cannot win games when your star player is turning the ball over 8 times. He's the only guy, really. I mean, if you look at the numbers, Kevin Durant was responsible for 8 of the Nets' 14 turnovers. So more than half of the Nets' turnovers were responsible because of Kevin Durant. Can't turn the ball over that much. There's one of the reasons why the Nets got into the trouble they did. Is because of the fact that he turned the ball over way too much. And Jayson Tatum, he was worse. The Celtics had 15 turnovers in the game. Jayson Tatum had 9. So the Nets and the Celtics, big stars in this game, turned the ball over 15 times total. 15 times for both these teams. I mean, superstars, when they have to handle the basketball as much as they do, they're going to turn the ball over a lot. But, I mean, 8 for Durant and 9 for Tatum, that's like taking it to a different realm. The fact that both those guys really went out there and they turned the ball over at an exponential rate. But either way, the Celtics were just a little bit too much for the Nets at Barclays Center. I don't know if the Nets were just tired. I don't know if the Nets just weren't on their A game. But either way, the Nets just couldn't get the job done. The Celtics, overall, they had 11 steals in the game. The Nets had 6. Nets had 7 block shots. Celtics had 9. All the numbers, when you go by the numbers, they were all very similar and very close with one another. It's just the Nets just couldn't find a way to slow down both Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They were just too much for the Nets in this game overall. I mean, like I said, Tatum had 29 and Tatum had 29 and Brown had 34. Overall, that's about 60 plus points of the Celtics' 103 points that were scored in this game. 60 to 70 points was scored by the two superstars for the Celtics. And the Nets, Kyrie Irving had 18 points, 7 of 21 shooting. He had 1 of 5 from the 3-point line, 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Joe Harris was the only other player from the Nets that scored in double figures. He had 13 overall, 3 of 5 from the 3-point line, 5 of 10 from the field. Royce O'Neal, he had an off shooting night, 2 for 12 from the field, 2 for 8 from the 3-point line. He had 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Nick Claxton was just a point short of a double-double. He had 9 points in the game on 4 of 5 shooting. He had 14 rebounds. So Claxton, just short of a double-double. He had also a couple of blocks in the game. Joe Harris continues to get in foul trouble, though. He had 5 fouls in this basketball game. He's got to stop fouling so much. And the bench, Cam Thomas was the one that really sparked the bench, if you want to say that. He had 8 points in the game, 1 of 5 shooting, 1 of 2 from the 3-point line. He had 1 assist in this game. Otherwise, Seth Curry scored nothing in 14 minutes. T.J. Warren had 4 points in this game and 1 of 4 shooting in 18 minutes. Kessler Edwards and Day'Ron Sharpe got a little bit of minutes. Sharpe actually hit a 3-point shot. He had 3 points in the game in 2 minutes. Kessler Edwards, he had no points in 2 minutes. Otherwise, nobody else really did anything off the bench. Celtics, they had Peyton Pritchard, who scored 6 points off the bench. And Malcolm Brogdon, 32 minutes, he had 13 points off the bench. So otherwise the Celtics really didn't get a lot of huge contributions from their bench either, besides Malcolm Brogdon. But it was really the superstars that got the job done for the Celtics. Both Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown controlled this game for the Boston Celtics. The Nets they got outplayed. Plain simple. They got outplayed. Durant turned the ball over too much. Irving didn't give them enough on the offensive side of the court. Second chance points hurt them. I can't even say rebounds hurt them as much because they were even for the most part. Same thing with assists. And even turnovers were not that far off from one another. And even personal fouls. The Celtics actually committed more personal fouls than the Nets did. Floor spacing, second chance points, key shots when they needed to happen. Celtics just outplayed the Nets. That's just plain simple. Nets got beat by a better team. There's a reason why the Celtics are in the position that they're in. They're 19-5 on the season. Nets, they're 13-12. We'll have to wait and see if Ben Simmons is going to come back. I can't even say because both teams were missing their defensive stoppers in these games. Celtics didn't have Marcus Smart and Robert Williams. The Nets didn't have Yuta Watanabe, and they didn't have Ben Simmons. So both teams were missing players. So you can't even make that an excuse that both teams, one team was missing more key players than the other. Both teams were missing key players in this game. But either way, the Nets, they fall to the Boston Celtics in this game, 103-92. The Nets now have a game on Wednesday against the Charlotte Hornets at home. So hopefully the Nets can use that as a bounce-back game. Maybe Ben Simmons returns because he was only supposed to be missing 3 games in this stretch after suffering the upper calf strain earlier on. Have to see if Ben Simmons can make his return to the team. We'll wait and see. And in terms of Yuta Watanabe, same thing. But either way, the Nets are going to try to see if they can bounce back after losing this game against the Boston Celtics on Sunday. So we'll wait and see what's going to happen with the Nets and who's going to be available. But either way, Nets 13-2 on the season. Tough loss against the Boston Celtics at home. Let's see if the Nets can bounce back against the Charlotte Hornets at home. But as your BKN game recap for the Nets against the Boston Celtics, Nets are 13-2 on the season, looking to try to bounce back on Sunday against on Wednesday against the Charlotte Hornets. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYGJeffyT85 for more breaking news, updates, chatter, and game recaps surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. Turn on the bell for notifications of the next video or short that's going to be dropping on channel surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. And let me know in the comments section what you thought about last night's game against the Boston Celtics. If you're surprised that the Nets lost that game, if you think the Nets just got outplayed by a better team overall, by the Boston Celtics, and what is your state of the Nets so far and how you're feeling about the Nets heading into this game on Wednesday against the Charlotte Hornets overall. So I thank you very much, everybody. Hope you had a fantastic rest of your Monday. Take it easy and let's go Brooklyn Nets. As always, it's a Nets world and we all just live in it.